Hi everybody, this is Clarine from In Rainy's room, and today we're going to make a little peekaboo box. They're small. They are about 2.5 inches by 3.25, and you fill it up with some kind of cool candies, and these are the little sentiments on the top. I made several, so when I get through showing you how to make these, I'll show you some of the other ones I made just to give you an idea of how you can change everything by changing your papers. Okay, so set that to the side. This is what you're going to need. You're going to need can't find my acetate. Oh, here it is. Okay. Don't lose your acetate strip. You need a strip of acetate, and you buy these in packages and just cut them down. You'll need one strip that is 10.5 by 3, and then you're going to score that at 1/2, 3, 5.5, and 8. And then you're going to need 2 pieces that are 4 by 4 by 1/16. We're going to add 1/16 to that, and then these will be for the top and the bottom, and you're going to score at 3.25 on all 4 sides. Let me show you real quick how I did that. What I mean by that 1/16 is that you line up your paper to 4, and then I want to have it a little bit bigger, so that first little tiny line to the left of the 4 is 1/16. So I'm going to cut the 4 plus the 1/16. Over here, there's the 4 and the 1/16. And then we're going to score that at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. I don't get to use my little score buddy very often because I'm usually making bigger projects, but this is kind of fun to use. Alright, so then what you have are your valley folds. So you're going to want to put this face down and then fold and burnish all 4 sides. A lot of this work I did beforehand just to kind of save time, but I wanted to show you about those 16ths because we use them in a couple of the other measurements. Now when you cut your corners, I would like you to just cut on that score line up to the first score line, and then just angle in and cut off a little piece. And what that does is it takes out the thickness when you start building your lid. Then you turn it. You want your tabs on the same side, so you do that in that corner. And then go over to this other side and do the same thing on all 4. Takes out that bulkiness. Okay. And then let's set that to the side for just a second and cut out the rest of the things that you're going to need. The other 2 things that you're going to need are 2 mats that are 2.5 by 2.5 less the 1/16, because those are going to fit inside here, and we're just going to glue that in. It just gives you a little stronger texture to your lid in the bottom. This is the strip that's going to go around your edge, and you'll need 2 of those, 5/8 by 12. And again, I didn't do the full 5/8. I did a 1/16 less, just because I wanted a little bit more of my black showing. So we'll set that aside. And then you're going to need 2 of the patterned paper. One goes on the top one goes on the bottom, and those are 2 3/8 by 2 3/8. And I think that's all we need. All right. So what I'm going to do is, I already did the top lid, and they're both the same. So we're going to make the bottom together. And to do that, we're going to do your acrylic strip first with 1/4 inch score tape over on this 1/2 inch side. We're just going to put a strip down there. And I'm putting it right up next to that score line. You don't want to cover it. And of course you can't see that on camera because it's just too little. And then I'm going to cut off a little excess up here at the top. And maybe this will help. I'm right just short of that score line. I haven't creased it yet. And then I'm going to burnish the tape. It's important because you know that activates it. Now I want this strip of tape that we put down to be on the inside. So I'm going to fold this up, crease it, and then do your other folds as well. And crease them. Acetate is kind of hard to work with sometimes. If you get a lot of smudgies on it, you have to kind of be careful how you hold it. Make sure your hands are fairly clean, not a lot of hand lotion on there. All right, so what I'm going to do is take off the score tape using my pokey tool. And then I'm going to bring this other side over, and I want to go right up against that score line. So I'm going to put this edge, I'm going to keep it even at the top and push it all the way to the back. Hold that. Make sure this is pressed all the way in the back to form your square. And then burnish that down. And believe it or not, that's the hardest part. The rest of this is just fun. So I'm going to set this to the side. Don't worry too much if you get a little bit of a curl here. That's just working with plastic. We'll set that to the side. Now we're going to take our bottom piece and we're going to fold your tabs in. I like to put a little bit more glue on the fold because that's where we want to have it the snuggest. So you put your glue here. And you take this edge and put it right up against that score. And just press it down, because that's the important thing about making these corners, is you want to have a nice edge. So you line it up right on there. Same thing over here. Bring the edge over to the fold. Goes right on there, and just hold it for a couple seconds. Don't worry about the glue, you know that dries clear. Then I'm going to do the other two sides. Again, I put a little strip up, a little more where the fold is, and then the glue to hold the rest of your tab. And that's that edge. And the same over here. If you don't line those up, then the lid, it's hard to get that to fit. Okay, then we're going to take that other little piece that we cut. This is just enough glue to hold it in place. Doesn't take a lot. And you just set that down in here. Burnish it a little bit. Oops, got some glue there. All right, now we're going to put the edge on, and I distressed my edges on this one. So I got out my distress ink, And just go all the way down just to get rid of that edge. Now I didn't do this on all of my little boxes. A couple of them I did, some of them I didn't. This is a very small edge, so it's kind of a personal preference, whichever you like to do. While I have my distress ink out, I'm going to show you how I distress the, this is the top and bottom one. See how that goes, going to be on the top. And to distress these edges, I bring my sponge over here and kind of make a circle and come and catch that edge so that it's dark on the edges, but it gets lighter as you go into the middle. It just gives it a nice look. I'll put this over here. Okay. This is going to get, we're doing the bottom, so you're not going to put this on quite yet, but that's going to go on the bottom. And we're going to put 1/2 inch scoring tape down this whole side strip. I'll just put it there, go right down the middle. Remember, when you cut this at 5/8, you do it less 1/16. Just, I like to look better than to have the whole side filled. Burnish your score tape. And bring that up. Okay, so just start at one corner, go in about 1/2 inch, center it, press it down, and as you get to the next corner, you just kind of smoosh it in a little bit, and then center it, grease it as you go along, smoosh the corner, center it, and then this is the last one. Now we're going to cut off most of this. You just want this to cover up that little piece where you stopped, so I'm just going to snip this here. Oops. And then it just folds over like that. And then just kind of pinch your corners so that you have a nice fold. Okay. Now, if you remember, I had a ribbon on the top of my box. So this is when you put the ribbon on. You turn your lid, your bottom over, put a couple inches of score tape just across the middle, like that. And I cut my ribbon. This is just regular acetate ribbon. I have about 30 inches, and I just fold this in half. The center of it is going to go across the middle of your bottom, and that little strip of score tape is going to hold it in place. Then you're going to add your bottom pattern paper. Remember to get the corners. It's important that you have glue in your corners. Otherwise, when everything dries, they don't have glue. They just pop up and look horrible. So we're going to put that in the center. Now, a lot of the materials that I used on these boxes were just scraps from my stash. I'm not even sure where some of the papers came from. This one is a graphic 45. I recognized the giraffes. I'm going to pop that over. Plus, I don't know, you always know when you're working with graphic 45 because the quality of their paper is just fabulous. Everything cuts so nicely. So there you have the bottom of your box. So we're going to put the acetate center in here. Now, you don't need to put the glue all the way up to the top, but I'm going to be generous with it halfway up. And the reason I'm using glue instead of the score tape is that I just sometimes need a little bit of wiggle room. This dries clear, so you don't see all this whiteness. But I tried making one with the score tape, and once you put the score tape down and it adheres to your acetate, it's there. And didn't work well for me. So you just kind of push these in a little bit, make a little diamond, because you want your corners to go together like that. Tap it down, flip it on its side, and you just want to mash that glue so that it picks up on your acetate. And it's going pretty good. See how it's smooshing down? That's what you want it to do. And do all 4 sides. And again, this dries clear, so don't get too concerned about how ugly it looks right now. It's going to look really good when we're all done. Let's see how that gives it a nice flat glue. There's a little bit of a bow here, so I'm going to give this an extra little push. And the reason that it's going so nicely is because of that extra little 1/16. I tell you, it makes a huge difference. So don't forget about it when you're cutting out. All right, so there we go. There's the bottom. Now, the theme that I'm using is a friendship theme on this one. So I pre-cut out, this is a scalloped, probably about a 2-inch scalloped die, die. And then I made a little sentiment that says friendship is golden. I did that in Photoshop. I got the fleur-de-lis from the internet. You go to clipart.com. They have some wonderful things. Now I'm going to use pop-up dots to attach all of these little elements. So I'll put this in the middle, center it. This is going to go in the top corner of my box. And just a little bit. Here's that top that I made before we started, just to kind of save time. And then I cut out 4 fleur-de-lis just to put on the side to give it a little bit of character. Now you don't have to worry yet about where this edge is, because that's the only thick one. But I'll show you how we're going to address that in a minute. So I'm putting the pop-up dot near the bottom. And I'm going to gently put my fingers in here, stick on the fleur-de-lis, making sure that the tip is up above the line here, and then you just push those from the inside and the out just to secure that pop-up dot. And here's the other one. So of course I'm predicting that as you're doing this and you're putting these on, you're thinking, oh, this would really be cute if I had a heart. Oh, this would really be cute if I had a bumblebee. And you'll end up making more than one. So I'll put this guy on here. Two more. It's kind of incredible how nicely that acetate sticks with the glue. And that goes there. I'm kind of putting them off to here. You can put them wherever you want. The reason I put them off to the side is when you bring your ribbon up, you want to make sure that you're not covering it. So if I have it off to the side, but before I tie my bow, I can tuck that in there. It's a little thing, but I thought it was important. All right, here's my last one. I'll put that one over here. And these measure probably an inch, about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter. And I cut those out. After I get things off of the clip art, I bring it into Photoshop, and then I can size it and color it and do whatever I want. All right, so I'm going to give one more little tap here. Oh, that's sitting up very nice. I can feel it. Just want to make sure that's secure. And because I only put the glue up halfway, it's not smushing out the top. Because if it smushes out the top, that will show. Even though it dries clear, it would look bad on your acetate box there. All right, so time to put the lid on. Boom, like that. And because we had that extra little 1/16, it fits on very nicely. No hassle there. And then this I'm going to put on the opposite corner of that, just because I don't want this in the front. I want it in the back. So I'm going to be put that in the back, and then I'm going to use a couple pop-up dots. And it's going to go here, so I want my dots in this area. So I'll put 2 of those back here, because this will become the front of your box. So I'll put that right up here. And smush it down a little bit. Okay. Then I'm going to tie a bow. I'm going to bring this ribbon up so that it's not covering up my little fleur-de-lis. There we go. All right. Now I cut a lot of ribbon. Like I said, it's about 30 inches. I'm going to tuck this under twice to hold it a little bit in place while I do the bow. And then I have lots of end to play with. So I'll put that here and kind of pull it, get a little hold on itself. And let's see if I can make a bow the first time. I can't always. And looks like we're going to be just fine. Okay, first time. I like that. All right, so just going to make these edges a little bit bigger. Pull them up so you have your bow stands up a tiny bit. Now when you cut these ends off, don't cut them up real short, because after you give this as a gift, they're probably going to want to retie the bow. So give them a little bit of space to work with. Well, how about that? All ready to go. Now let me show you the other ones that I did. Oh, one more thing. I like to put a signature on things that I make. I would encourage you to do the same thing, just because people like getting things made by other people and then they forget who they got them from. So I made myself up some little signatures, and I just glue them on the bottom. All right, let me show you a couple of the other ones that I did, because I'm very happy with them. This is, this little sentiment says, you rock. So I put some hearts on there, accented with red, because black and white is great, and then the accent of red kind of brightens it up. This one I did obviously for Christmas. It says Merry Christmas. And I have the little red, I think they're cardinals. Now these I did not get off of the internet. I got these from an Etsy store. The designer's name is Jeannie Fernell. Jeannie Fernell. Fabulous designer. She has all kinds of good stuff. I bring it into my Photoshop where I can size and color it. This is another one, little honeybees. This is an old sentiment. It says sweet as honey. I got that out of my stash. I've had it for so long, I don't know where it came from. The bees, again, off of clipart.com. And that's that one. Aren't those cute? And then we come back to my original Happy Halloween. And there you have it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Good luck. Make a whole bunch of them.